All right.
So let's see. Okay, we are recording.
Okay. What in the world do you have in that jug?
Got a lot of good stuff right here. All right.
All right.
So,
the joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you.
Just preface you about welcome to the makings of you. Welcome on Brinda.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with
I'm
me.
so privileged. This is just a privilege and an honor to be with your aunt.
I am the one that's honored being with my auntie mom. Trust me, I think a lot of people looking forward to this one.
Brandon, listen, they are because I've already got that from Shanae and Angela. I said, well, I don't know why.
Well, you know they you heard theirs, so I can tell you listen to the makings of you. This is going to be almost the same exact questions.
Okay.
I got to do a number of the people I've interviewed or had on the makings of you. It has to be at least 250 right now, and I love hearing their different perspectives, their personalities, their behaviors, their lives. Because we do the makings of you because when we have you back on later on in the future, it's going to give our viewers a little bit of an insight to who you are. So this is the makings of Brinda Simmons. So it is no wrong answers here. This is all about you. Okay, this is a perspective. So whatever if you feel uncomfortable with the question, you don't have to answer it, or if you don't know the answer of it at the moment, just tell me. We'll come back to it later on. So once again, same questions. Once again, I may go into a little bit more detail about some questions, but other than that, it's just a conversation between you and I. Tonight, so this morning or this afternoon, I am drinking a little bit of Ray and Nephew rum. Panama rum, and oh my gosh, I can't even think of the coconut rum, something like that, and some pineapple and ginger ale. So,
That's a little much, son.
I know, right? But we enjoy. So, welcome, auntie. Welcome. First question we have here. First question I have for you right here. How would you describe your culture?
Well, how I would describe my culture is, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm just a Black woman that raised 3 children alone, and then I later on down the road when I got rid of them, I got one more. So I have raised 4 children alone.
Let me rephrase it. How would you describe your people?
My people. Do you want me to really answer that right now?
If we can come back to it.
Yeah, we can come back to it because I have to really think about how I want to describe my people.
But hey, it's everything culture, and so that's what we do.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself? You was going into it just now, with your raising your 4 children. So how else would you describe yourself if you had to tell someone? Describe yourself to someone that never met Brinda Simmons before. How would you do so?
Well, growing up, I was raised with a twin. I have a twin sister. I had a twin sister up until 3 years ago. And she is now deceased. And that's been one of the hardest things in my life that I've had to deal with, other than the loss of my parents and my older sister, Winnie, and my youngest sister, Denise, and my brother, Burl. I've had a lot of loss, but I thank God I didn't have these loss until I was grown. And some people experience this early in life. but God has blessed me to grow up with my siblings and enjoy them. And when I think about all that God has done for me and my family, I can't help but just give him all the praise. He's given me the ability to be able to work hard and go to work every day and not be ill and take care of my family. Sometimes I will be about giving out, but I wasn't going to give up.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
So there's a big difference there.
Okay.
But my daughter, number one, Tanya, she has 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see how many grandchildren.
Ooh, we gonna come back to that because I'm gonna ask that soon. Trust me, you about to go down a whole. I was doing this the other day. I was like, ooh. I said, we got to make our family tree again.
Yes, absolutely.
So just like you take the census and sometimes when you go into the DMV and things of that nature, they have some boxes that you go check off.
Yes.
What do you check off? What do you identify as?
What do I identify as? A strong Black woman.
Strong Black woman. Love it, love it, love it. Now, this is a question I ask everyone as well. And what is your zodiac sign, if you know it?
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Now, I said this before, but we got quite a few of y'all in the family.
You're right. Good people just give you their heart, give you their last.
Okay. This kind of going to now. This is more in depth. He's going for. How would you define your childhood and your upbringing?
I had an excellent childhood. I was raised with, like I said, I was raised with a twin and another sibling, 13 months younger than my twin and I. And I have a brother that was 8 years older than I was, and a sister that was 12 years older, and we had a baby sister. My parents were old when, they were elderly when they started having children, because I guess that's why I took this from my mom helped raise her siblings when her mama died. So I just believe in family and values and taking care of your own. And Brenda, you are one of the constituents. You got all tangled up here. You when I decided to take you, I had no qualms about it. I mean, it was just something that I knew I had to do. Right. Because if you got in trouble, I'll have to get you out of it. Okay?
No problem.
But, and if you could remember, when I took you in, I said, Brandon, you come stay with me, live with me, and you stay until you grown. But I ask that you don't get in trouble and you sure don't act a fool at school, because if you do, I will come and embarrass you in front of the class. And
you never had to do it.
With a whipping. No, and I never had to do any of those things. And I never had to pick you up out of jail. And I thank God for that.
Let me tell you, once again, this is the makings of Brenda. Put your camera up a little bit so we can see your beautiful face. I know if it's wearing you out, it's okay. I understand.
I was trying to see if, I don't have a tripod, but
it's fine. It's fine.
No, it has to be.
People are going to be hearing this more than anything else as well. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to go back to the questions. But I tell people who listen to the show, I remember when I went to go live with you and you said it's in the living room. Never forget. You gave me 3 things. It was like, you don't Don't get in any trouble. Tell me the truth when you know you didn't get in trouble with something.
Yep.
Don't get no girl pregnant.
Right.
And don't go to jail. Those are like the 3 things that you told me not to do.
Main thing.
Boom, boom, boom. I would never forget. Having get in trouble that I ain't told you the truth when I got in trouble.
Yep.
I still ain't got a woman pregnant yet.
Right. I'm still waiting on my grandbaby.
They'll be here before you know it. Just get ready. Just keep getting ready.
And it's gonna be twins, I'm sure.
Hey, whatever God blesses with, we'll be fine.
God's gonna bless you with twins.
But back to you, Auntie. Would you mind sharing what year or what decade you was born? When did you come up?
I was born in the 50s.
The 50s. Okay.
The 50s, yes.
And coming up in the 50s, what was and it kind of goes into the next.
That was doing segregation.
Okay, yeah, and trust me,
it was doing segregation, and we were we grew up. Now they call it the colored school, but back then it was St. Louis school, and it was not the school for children with problems. It was just a regular school at that time. And after we graduated from 6th grade, we went on to A.T. Stewart Middle School from the 7th through the 8th. And then we went to M.S. Scott from the 9th through the 12th. M.S. Scott, we had a choice. It was segregation time, and they bussed us. And my twin and I did not want to go to Robert E. Lee, and we expressed that to my daddy. Anything my twin and I told my daddy we didn't want to do, we didn't have to do it. So my dad bought us a car that we argued over.
I've heard about it.
My twin would get up in the morning. She couldn't drive. She didn't have her driver's license. So she would take the key. So my mom and dad would be gone. And when we go out to the car, she would have the key already. I said, oh my God, we got a ride with her this morning. So we never told it on her or anything until she had a wreck and ran in the back of somebody.
Oh no!
When she had the wreck, well, we had to tell the truth.
Understand? Yeah. So, you got to let it go right there.
Yeah, we had to let it go.
Okay. So coming up, what were the roles of your parents in the household?
My mother and father were both breadwinners. My mother was a nurse at UT Health Center, now UT Health Center. Back then it was Camp Fannie Chest Hospital. It was called the Chest Hospital. It was at one time it was an Army base or some for the and then they changed it and made a hospital out of it, and they had a lot of nurses. It was one of the main hospitals other than Mother Francis and Medical Center. They were still in business.
I never knew that.
Yep, we had that hospital as well, and that's where Stale worked for a while. But my mother was a nurse also at what you call medical surgical clinic. It's no longer in existence. They tore it down years ago. And the doctors got their own offices. Those that didn't get their own offices start working out of the hospitals. Okay. So on Saturday mornings, our duties were, as my mother girls' duties were, and it was Gwen, myself, and Sharon. was to clean up. I mean, my mother would give us so much to do.
Oh, and we're gonna come back to that. We'll come to that. We'll come back to that. That's a question we're gonna have. I'm glad you leaning right into it. So what did your father do?
My father owned his own business. He was a dirt contractor. He hauled dirt, and in most of the houses that are built in the Azalea district, my dad did the slab spur. He worked for Upton Bell, who was a prominent builder here in Tyler. But he had his own business. He had a dump truck and tractor, and that's and made us a great living. I mean, we thought we were rich, to be very honest, because we didn't never want for anything. You know, if we asked for it, my mom would say, "Ask your dad." So if we asked our dad, we knew we were getting it. So I had a great parents. Both of them were just wonderful.
Wow. And I love hearing that. I hear so many stories, and when you come back on in the near future, we're going to talk more about that as well. And
okay,
you mentioned your siblings, and I'm gonna go down with you. You have your oldest sibling, which is our Aunt Winnie. Well, my Aunt Winnie, your sister Winnie.
Right? Yeah, my sister.
Then you had your brother Burl.
Right.
Then it would be you.
Right.
Then Gwen, your sister
and
Gwen, your twin.
Yeah, yes.
And what you say, 16 months later was
13 months.
13 months later, we have Aunt Didi, your sister Sharon.
Right.
And then was it how many years? With my mom?
Well, your mom was 8 years up, I think, as well.
After
that's
not far from your sister Sharon. So that was Marguerite or Denise.
Yes.
So
they had 5 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. That's what my daddy said. Wow.
Okay. it just seemed like growing up with just so many more y'all. So
nah.
But much love.
Well, that's because we had my dad's sister, Aunt Jolly, living next door. And her kids would be with us all the time. I mean, and then my cousin Carl Anthony, who we call May West, he went with us everywhere we go. So he was like a brother to us growing up.
So very tight knit family.
It was a very tight knit family because we were just in the same neighborhood. My grandparents lived in the first house, and my Aunt Jolly, my dad's sister, lived in the second. And we were in the third house, and we were. And when I tell you, we were one big happy family. My dad and his siblings were thick as thieves. They were close.
You got your finger on your phone. That's about to say you keep cutting your face off more and more, but it's fine. It's fine.
Well, I'm trying to keep it going because maybe next time I have a tripod.
Bad question. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Tyler, Texas, in the community of Clayton, which is, we grew up on we lived on the road back then. It was called Possum Trot Road. And today it is called Callaway Road.
Oh, and when people listen to this, and I try to tell people, my family lived country. When they hear we lived on Possum Trot Road,
Possum Trot Road was the name of
it. I think that takes it all.
And we had a little country church. It was our family church, and we all go to that.
Was it Shiloh? I know in Clayton.
No.
Clayton.
Now my mother was Kojic, and my dad was Baptist.
Okay.
And the Baptist church was the family church, my daddy's family's church. And my mom went to a church on the next road. So
I found that's new to me today as well. That is absolutely new to me. Okay. Where do you consider home?
Tyler, Texas is really home for me.
Okay.
We moved in on 155, which is the Frankston Highway in Tyler, Texas. I'm trying to think of the year. In 1967,
1967.
because we didn't want to go to Robert E. Lee. They were busing back then, so uh, we couldn't even ride the bus because we lived too close to Robert E. Lee. So my dad purchased a car for us to drive back and forth to Image Scott,
I was about to say, y'all
grade school.
And I would say y'all moved. That was Zone 2 Lee now these days. I know that for sure. In St. Louis, and I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you this question later on in the future as well. If you don't know the answer, why is that neighborhood called St. Louis?
It was St. Louis when we moved to it, so I really don't know. But
okay, that's
in the future
homework.
when you come back, I'll know, because now that's where I go to church, at St. Louis Baptist Church. So
but it's
I'll
the neighborhood.
ask somebody there.
Yeah, thank you. I really want to know why did, and I try to Google it, but why do they call the neighborhood St. I'm gonna put it on Facebook soon.
That's just like, why do you call the neighborhood we grew up in Clayton community?
I heard, this is what I heard. The reason why it's called a Clayton, because it had all the red clay around.
Now that's the truth. It did have plenty of red clay, because we would eat it. We would eat that clay.
We talked about this on, I don't know if it was an episode or one of our lives that we have on Sundays, but I know me and Afton will talk about it, and people still eat red clay. People still do it.
I wouldn't eat it now. There's too much going on in the world.
Hey, I ain't gonna argue with you about that, but I'll just let you know people still do it. Because trust me, when people
believe it,
because people hear you eat red clay, it used to say they had nutrients and all that part of it, and it was very part of and it was part of the indigenous community, the Native Americans. So, but hey, things change, things evolve, but hey, people just don't know. But I love hearing these. And now, you was touching on it earlier. You were touching on it a moment ago. But what chores did you have growing up?
Oh, we shelled peas in the summertime and washed them for my mama to put up. We weren't allowed to put them up. She did that, but we hated shelling peas so much. We sit on the front porch, and there were little slats on the front porch that had cracks in it. And they would buy a couple bushel of peas, and they knew how much you would get out of a bushel of peas. But we would be so lazy, we dropped some of them peas down through those cracks. not knowing we were gonna get beat half to death for throwing away food. That was food, and good food. We were responsible for cleaning up, and that's why we all keep clean houses. We mopped, we washed. My mother taught us everything, including how to cook. When we grew up, when we were old enough to get in the kitchen with her, she'd show us how to cook different dishes. And the main thing all of us wanted to learn, and I'm the only one that learned it growing up, was to cook her cornbread dressing. Because she made the best cornbread dressing ever. So we would also have to keep the yard clean. I mean, they worked us. My dad would work on Saturdays, and some of these houses that he would have laid slabs for needed grass as well. The yard sodded. They call it sodding. He would pick up a pallet of St. Augustine grass, and we'd have to plant it in them folks' yard. And I remember one incident where we were at the Brookshire's house down at the lake. And
the Brookshires, or just
the Brookshires, the owner of Brookshire's. We were at their house.
Get out of here. Okay.
And their kids and we're all about the same age, and we would play with those kids. Well, they were out there, and we were playing, throwing rocks and stuff, and throwing things in the lake. Well, when my daddy had gone to pick up something, when he came back, we wasn't finished. But when we got home, we got we got reprimanded for that.
Okay.
Like it or not, and I'm trying to think of the first, and that might have been the first whipping I ever got from my dad. My dad was not the disciplinarian. My mother was.
Mm.
My mother, she didn't hold back. She make you want to run away from home.
So, okay. Hey, y'all, once again, welcome to the makings of Brinda Simmons. You know, my aunt Brenda, whoever knows, this is Mr. D713 with Everything Culture. Ooh, when I tell you something that's been concurrent like throughout these interviews, okay, is that my grandmother did not play.
She didn't play, baby.
I'm saying that, and that was the next question. It was like, how were you disciplined growing up?
Well, I'm trying to think. It was Mr. Bozo. Bozo was the man name. Bozo would go in the woods, cut switches, and go from house to house to see who all needed a switch. Now, this is the truth. Bozos always say, Sister Johnson, do you need any switches today? And my dad said, if you don't get the hell away from here, I'm going to whip you with them switches. Because my daddy didn't like for my mama to whip us.
Okay. Okay. So this is not our Uncle Bozo, right?
No.
This
This
a whole
was an
different
old
person.
man. Yeah, they lived down the road from us.
Okay.
He was an old man. He didn't have a wife or family, anything. He lived with his sister and her husband.
How did y'all treat Mr. Bozo?
We couldn't stand Mr. Bozo.
I ain't gonna say these kids these days. It would have been me and my friends too. We would have gave Mr. Bozo hell.
Mr. Bozo.
What
That's true.
You doing what? You doing
Mr. Bozo be bringing my mama switches, trying to sell them. I said, you're not gonna sell them either.
Okay, and for the people who's listening to us right here, I may put a picture of what a switch is, because some people don't know what a switch even is. Okay,
Are you serious?
Auntie, you know, these things change over the time. People, I know.
Definitely, she did not whip us with belts. I remember one incident where I got a whipping with a belt, and I nursed that whip all day because they put a whip on my leg.
I'd rather have a belt any day over a switch. Oh,
not from stale. I'm talking about stale whipping.
Okay.
So when Daddy came home, I eased out the door and showed it to him because I know he was gonna be mad because Mama didn't put a whip on me. So he came in the house and said, Stale, this girl told me, I didn't want him to say, I told him. I wanted him to say something like, I say she got a mark on her. What happened? But he didn't come in like that. He said, this girl showed me this whip you didn't put on her leg with that belt. Why you whoop the kid like that? And my mama told him the same thing he told Bozo. If you don't get out of here, I'm going to whip you with that belt. But they didn't.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
They did.
Hey, y'all don't be a bozo. I'm gonna look like
no.
Don't be a bozo, because I can't tell
whatever
you,
you do.
The amount of hate I would have for that man if somebody went around just supporting. You putting guns in people's hands, put bullets in people's hands.
If you put it in my mama's hand, it was like putting a bullet in there.
Oh my goodness!
I remember one incident when we stole the car. That was before we were driving. And they were gone and they didn't even know it. And it was always Gwen. Gwen would always instigate things. And me and Sharon would go along with it. Of course, we picked up a couple of more of our friends and neighbors up the street. They were with us, and we went to the store. Wasn't no gas in it. We stopped at Mr. Copeland's store and put 25 cents worth of gas in that car. Right. Think of 25 cents worth of gas in your car now. You could barely cut it off.
Go spit in the tank.
Right. Right. And we cut it off, and they didn't got the, somehow Gwen got, it was a push button. She got the push buttons all screwed up, and we couldn't get it to start. So we pushed it across the road and let it roll down the hill like we have seen in the past. And then try to jump start it, and we couldn't get it started. So we were crying because we were afraid to call home.
What age was this?
We were probably about 8, 9.
Oh no.
Yeah, 8 or 9 years old.
Oh
yeah,
no.
oh yeah.
Oh,
We've been driving, I think, all of our lives. My daddy taught us how to drive his tractor, and that was it. That was it. Anyway, we called John Edward, our cousin John Edward, who is older than us. And John came to our rescue. Well, our other cousin, who we call Mae West, Carl Anthony, he beat us home. He ran all the way home to tell it on us. And your grandmother was waiting on us. When we topped that hill on the way home, we could hear him holler, here they come, Estelle. You know, we knew then we were in big time trouble.
Oh,
my mama, now she really got us.
I am so happy I am doing this. You know, this is for everything culture, but this is for me more than this is for my family more than anything else. Because I'm just listening, I'm just like, wow. The cycle. Wow. Wow.
Y'all never got a whipping. Like I said, when I had kids, I never whipped them. But I had to. Them girls had to get it. You didn't never get a whipping, Brenda. But them girls had to get it.
You know, I was thinking this makes a Brinda, but I was like, man, I think back now, like I really didn't compare to other people in the family. I really didn't get that many whippings, you know. I got it, and unfortunately, every time I got a whooping, I was like, you know what, I was. That's my problem with my mouth. That's the only thing where I would give me the whooping because I would say, you really need a whooping right now, really for that? I'm like. And I'd be like, go ahead. Like,
yeah, you was a smarty mouth.
I know, unfortunately. That was my
you
story.
and Anki.
And we'll come back to that. So, what were and what are your beliefs?
Well, my beliefs, when it comes to my children, is to raise them the Christian way. My children, like you've heard the phrase, I was drugged. I was drugged, all right. I was drugged to church, drugged it from morning, and then we went back in the afternoon. We were Church of God in Christ, and they didn't know how to let you go. They'd have church until my daddy would come up there and say, Estelle, my kids got to go to school in the morning, so they're going to come on home. Then we'll go home. But me raising mine, I did not do them that way. Certain time of evening, a night, if church went over, we tipping out. They love to go to church because we had a good, back then when they were going to church with us, this is after marriage, they loved our church. And they were in everything that there. And I was telling them, one day, it's, you know, and they were in the band at school, and I had 2 clarinet players and a flute player. The flute player was also a drum major, Shanae. Angela and yep.
Yeah, y'all heard the makings of Shanae. Y'all know Shanae. If y'all haven't listened to Shanae yet, y'all go listen to her episode.
Angela and Tanya blew the clarinet. And I remember getting a car for Tanya when they were in high school, so she could kind of help out with picking the kids up from school, because I had extra jobs to survive, and my children could never tell you that they came home and their lights was out, the water was off, the gas was off, nothing was repossessed, because I try to keep it real, and I taught them the same thing. You got to work hard and pay your bills, because there's one thing you want, and that's excellent credit. So I asked my oldest daughter, will you go get the kids, because I'm not going to get off in time to pick them up. And she told me that was her call. And she didn't want to go get them that evening. I'm not going to get them. They're not going to ride in my car every time I look up. I don't have to get them. I said, oh, okay. I'll see you later. When I got home, the keys came back to me, and the car got parked. And the car was parked, I know, a good month before she could drive it again. So I tried to teach them to take care of each other as well, like we were raised, and love one another. You can't ask for no more than that. I mean, you could ask for more, but that's the most important.
And that's what I'm going to say. What's your priority in it?
Yes.
That's why I love what you value. Okay, thank you, auntie. Okay, our next question. If you can recommend to anyone, people people that you love, anyone, could you recommend? What book would you recommend? What movie would you recommend? And what TV show would you recommend?
Wow. Book would be, I read so many books, I can't tell you which book I'd recommend. I got some in the drawers in there.
I know it.
Movie, Color Purple.
Hey, hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna cut y'all. Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Okay, then. Y'all see why I'm the way I am right now. All right, then. Okay. If you don't know, auntie, you don't know, but they know. The people who listen, they know.
Well.
I be wearing them out about The Color Purple. I like, that's my favorite movie, and it's because of y'all. It's because of y'all. I watched The Color Purple so many times in my life. I can't help it, but
and it's probably your Uncle Burl. He watched it every night.
I have it on VHS. I have it on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I have it digitally saved. I have it on so many different ways. I can watch The Color Purple right now and be like it ain't nothing. And every time I watch The Color Purple, I find
you see something different. Right.
I just did a whole skit about if I got kidnapped and people was holding me for ransom, they would return me because I wouldn't stop talking about The Color Purple. Simple as that.
That is what else you ask?
What's a show that you would recommend?
My favorite show would be Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, okay.
I love to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
And what else? My book. Oh wow! I'm gonna come back to the book.
No problem. Well, I'll put it in my hat.
Because I have read so many good books too. I don't know which one I would choose.
Okay. What has been an impactful moment in your life?
Impactful moment in my life.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, to be able to get a decent job. I've never been without a job. I remember I started off working for a place where when I was in a high school where they made stadium seats, and I lasted until break time. And I tell them, this is not for me. I can't do that. Because they would tell me, oh, Johnson, you need to hurry up and get that. And that was a mess up. Oh, no. I said, well, I'm not the one y'all need. I'll see you later. And I hit the clock and left.
I've had a couple of those. I've had a few of those.
Yeah, they didn't want me. Then I left there and I worked at Mother Francis Hospital for a while in X-ray. And I remember one night I was at X-ray school, and I was on call, and they wanted me to X-ray somebody, and that person was, well, I don't want to talk about that one. That wasn't a good thing, good experience for me.
You're fine. I understand.
That wasn't a good experience. But anyway, after that, I went to work for who else? I quit Mother Francis because I didn't like the way I was treated there. And I started to work for the Cotton Belt Railroad. And I worked for the Cotton Belt Railroad 8.5 years. And at one point there, I had, I loved that job. It was good. And I had a friend, Maxine Marshall. She sat behind me. And I believe she is one of the reasons my neck bothered me today, because she talked all day. She was talking. So I'm turning around trying to hear what she said. And I'm serious. Because in the 8.5 years, you can imagine somebody going 100 miles an hour when you try to hear what they say. Well, we love nuts. And she would bring pecans or peanuts or vice versa. And in the afternoon, when the janitorial service would come in.
Y'all did not make a mess in there. I hope y'all did.
We got in trouble.
Y'all should have got in trouble, right?
It was Maxine. It wasn't me. But anyway, that was one of my experiences. And I worked there until they transferred me to San Francisco. And at that time, I was a single parent. I was no longer married, so I did not want, and my mom and dad was trying to get me to go. I said, no, Mama, I don't want to leave my children, because if they turn out bad, I want them to turn out bad because I raised them. Because I know they wouldn't be worth a quarter with my mom and daddy. So they would have been rotten. I mean, So I stayed here. I chose to stay here. And the Lord blessed me with a job working for Slits Brewery. I love that job. I dearly love that job. I worked there for 5 years. And they put me on midnight to 8. And I said, well, I'm not the one, because I have young daughters. They were already latchkey kids, and we had an alarm system. So I leave and put the alarm on. I know if the window went up. I know if the door was open. Whatever. They thought it was terrible, but it worked. So then the shift changed there, and I had to find me another job. Because I could not work midnight to 8. So as I was driving down the road, down Interstate 20, I was praying, God, you have always been by my side, and I know you're not going to leave me now. I need a job. And he just led me straight to Commerce Street. And as I passed this refinery, I said, well, you know what? I think I'll go in and apply for a job here at La Gloria. So I stopped in there, filled out an application, had an interview, had a great interview with this guy, Hugh Kenner. And before I could get home good, he was calling me, offering me a job. So I started to work for him. I said, well, I'm going to be off the rest of this week so I can rest. So I'll come Monday. So I started there that Monday. And 40 years later, I'm still there.
Wow. How you ever told a story before?
No, I've never told it before.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. That's my first time hearing how you really even started at La Gloria, you know, because and for the people who's listening once again or watching, that man, she, you know, y'all heard, if y'all listen to the previous episode, y'all heard that my auntie, Aunt Brinda's a hard worker. Okay, no doubt. That's, if anything you heard about that, it was she worked hard. And if y'all listen to me as well, especially go back to season 1. Excuse all the language in season 1, by the way. Not really, but y'all know I'm grown. But either way, I used to say that, man, we used to pass each other because I saw you wake up so early. We both used to wake up. I see you every single day. You're going to work. Then you may work some parties. Then you have me help out with working parties. Then I had my part-time job after school. So my senior year in high school, we barely saw each other. I used to say it used to be so weird. It used to like we may talk for maybe 30 minutes or an hour because you used to go to sleep so early. And by the time I'm getting home, I get off of work, I go to the gym, and then by the time I get home, you sleep. But I get a lot of my work ethic from you, so I appreciate that. You know, I think
thank you,
something that we
son.
need more of. But hearing the story how you started at La Gloria, and I'm telling you, you know, majority of not everybody loved her there. She was very energetic, and I even how I act at work. I talk to everyone. I make sure to say good morning to everyone, even if they don't want to wish good morning. And that's something that a lot of places need. You know, and I'm currently in human resources now, and it's a great benefit to have. So I give great thanks to you for that. And once again, we can get right back to you. But thank you, Auntie. Thank you.
You're welcome, son.
If you had a theme song, what would it be?
My theme song, "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor.
Gloria Gaynor. All right. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. All right. That is fitting.
It was my theme song. I used to walk around the house singing it. Because I need, everybody need that little boost,
Yes, ma'am.
and she gave me that little boost of energy to keep on keeping on.
Okay,
other than all these children I had. And I had one child that thought we were so rich. When I went to the grocery store, he'd call his buddies over and say, well, we're going to barbecue this weekend. And he'd put the barbecue on, and what I just bought from the grocery store, he'd cook it up for them.
I still do that to this day.
Do you really?
Oh, man. If I was in Houston, we used to... But you gotta understand, once again, this is still the makers of Brinda Simmons. Some people may call her as BK, but I'm not calling her that. I'm just saying what her nickname may be. I'm not calling her that. But used to host a lot of parties. Used to have an event coming up. I'm telling you, it was I love that. You know, it just easy to be so laid back. I never, people never really argued at all. It was a good time.
No arguing.
That's what I looked at as a good time. So that's what I still look at as a good time. When I can get
life
together,
too short. Yeah.
We don't have to go out nowhere, pay all this and pay all that. Even though it's nice to go out every now and then to a place, but when you have people you care about, friends, family, you can host an event with one another in home. That's a beautiful thing to have. So especially, and I'm showing you how good I can cook as well. That I think is a little bit of love in that. That's part of my culture.
Yeah.
So once again, that I'm sorry for my friends coming over eating up all your food.
I said, Brandon, can I ever bring anything
I
over?
learned at a certain age. Trust me, it was one day I had, you when I played football, it was one day I had some folks over, and I'm like, wait a minute, all the food's gone. I was hungry. I was like, This after I started working. That's what it was. I was like, y'all done ate up all my. It was I had a bag of chips, and it was just that one bag of chips. I'm like, you done ate up all my chips like it ain't nothing. They ain't, nah, we would cut all that.
And see, you thought about it now. Oh, and I've been doing that Brinda like that all the time.
It's growth. It's understand you gotta grow. We understand we grow. We grow. But that's part of my makings of Miss
One more thing,
1573.
Brandon. Do you remember one morning I didn't have? I always try to make you breakfast before you went to school because I wanted your brain to be ready. I said, you can. You said you don't have to make me breakfast every morning. I said, but son, you need to eat a good breakfast before you go out. So this particular morning, I did not have everything I wanted to make breakfast. I said, well, I just run up to McDonald's and grab something. So I went and got 2 sausage biscuits, put them on the table because I was going to eat mine on the way to work. Well, when I took my shower and put my clothes on and came through, I said, hey, Brenda, where's the other sausage biscuit? And he like it was shot. They both one
I was a growing young man.
Man.
It's weird that you say that. Like I get in a. I'm not the nicest person when I don't eat breakfast, and I'm like, well, that's probably why. I'm like, man, like I have to eat breakfast. I tell you can ask my wife.
Yep,
I have to eat breakfast now.
Yep,
it's like,
me
man,
too.
I would be late for work. I would take my time, get at least an eggs and some toast or something.
Get
that's
something.
Gonna work. Okay.
Right.
All right. Let's go to our next question.
Because it gets you started.
It does. It's very
you
important.
It gets your day started. That's the most important meal of the day because it breaks the fast. That's why they call it breakfast.
Go ahead, auntie. Give them some knowledge. Yeah. Tell them something.
What?
Tell them something.
Yeah. Well, it is.
All right. How would you define joy?
Joy when you could get up in the morning and thanking God for your blessings, what all He done for you. And I do. I get up in the morning, and if I'm not saying it, I'm singing it. Thank you, God. Thank you for another day of life, health, and strength. And I remember when Brandon was about to go, and you probably remember, Brandon, you about to go off to college. And then I found out I had cancer. And I said to you said, oh, I'm not leaving you. I don't want to go. I can go to school here. I said, no. You're going on just like we planned. You're going to go on off to college. You're going to U of H. You've been accepted and everything. And you going because I do want y'all to be able to take care of yourself because it's not guaranteed that I'll be here forever. I said, but I want you to be able to take care of yourself. Yeah, you out of here. You gone. And then my grocery bill went down a whole lot. I just had to throw that in,
I no doubt. Trust me. Man, I can. Man, once again, I can just talk about when you first were driving me to Houston. Oh my goodness! I think that was something. Believe it or not, may have been a little impactful for you too. Because me, and that's kind of made me. Because I still look at you, but I really you like a superwoman. You know that. And when I tell you, and ain't nothing against you, okay? Because it was to a point where I realized, okay, she's super, but she ain't that super. Is when we that Houston traffic.
Oh yeah.
I remember because once again, me being a kid, being young, I went to sleep. I went to sleep in the car. I still go to sleep in the car. That's my thing. And I woke up. We was in the middle of an intersection, like in the middle of y'all know where you about to make an exit, and you got the lines, the water, the little barriers, whatever you call it. And
Yeah.
I remember waking up, you parked right there and you was free, you was scared. You was freaking, you got a little turned around and you didn't know. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm
Oh.
scared. I'm worried, but I'm looking at you. I saw you trying to stay strong and stay positive. I could tell you was worried. And that's all like, oh man, I'm gonna have to step up. That was like one of the first moments I was like,
Because I
okay,
probably was lost.
you were lost. That's what I say. You got a little turnaround, but
I probably was
you were
lost.
very lost. That's the you were very lost, and I just remember on
When I
cars,
get lost, they'll tell you I have a panic attack.
and I don't like being lost either. Trust me, I absolutely understand that 100%. But that's my first time really seeing. Okay, it's time to like step it up, Brandon. You know that was another time in life to step it up, but that's something I remember as an impactful moment in my life as well. But yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay. What privileges do you benefit from?
Brenda, you know what? I'm losing my battery.
Okay.
My battery's going. My phone is hot, and
I know.
and my 20%. I tried to plug you in so I could get a little more juice.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hold just a second? Let me see what I could do.
No problem, y'all. Hey, we're about to have our quick commercial break. We'll be
Hold
right back
on
with y'all
just
in a
one
moment.
second. Let me see if I could put you on the telephone speaker.
Oh, it's fine. Once again, y'all, we about to have our quick.
I've never done that before, but
We about to have our quick commercial break. We'll be back with y'all in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We are here again with the makings of my aunt Brenda, or we all may say the makings of Brenda Simmons. So we're going to our next question here. And the question we have at the moment is, what privileges do you benefit from?
One of the privileges I benefit from is being able to uh, file my taxes.
Taxes. Okay, well, you know, you got some type of income.
Yeah, because I need a little extra income. No,
Okay.
it's not really.
All right. Going to our next question.
I benefit mostly from having a job that I have insurance and other in 401k and all those goodies, that come along with it, having vacation. So that is where I benefit from. I just had to throw in the taxes message.
Hey, I understand where you're coming from that. Trust me. If you're able to pay them, you get some benefits from it as well. Trust me.
Yes.
It's a give and take at times. I understand.
Right.
Okay. There's a little bit of layered question here. So, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be?
I'll be a little Yorkie.
A Yorkie, okay. A little
A
Yorkie.
little
Yorkie
Yorkie.
pup. Okay. If you couldn't be a Yorkie, what's the other animal you would be?
I would be hmm, I don't want to be no animal.
You don't want to be no animal? Okay. What do you have a favorite animal then?
Do I have a favorite animal? Dogs would be my favorite animal. If I really had to have a favorite, like I said, it would be a little Yorkie.
Still be a Yorkie. Okay.
It still be a little dog.
You still working with that? Okay. We can leave it there.
Unless you want me to be a lion, now I can be a lioness.
Hey, this is once again, this is the makings of Brinda. You know, this is you. I'm like, I don't. You once again, you answer these questions how you answer. Ain't no right or wrong with it.
Right.
And so you kind of would go with the line is for the second one. Just
Yeah.
saying. But and this is the last one, third one.
I jumped from a puppy to a growling lion. You know.
Okay. So if you had a third one, this is the last one. What would be a third animal that you would think of that you could be or that you like?
Oh, why would you ask me those questions? That question like that.
It's the same question we ask everyone that come on the show. Same question.
Not everyone. So I guess I will be a tiger.
A tiger. Okay.
I'll be a tiger.
The reason why we ask this question is it's a Russian personality test. Okay, it may not hold any weight, you know, but just the how you look at it. So the first animal represent that you may say is one that you want people to perceive you as.
Sweet.
The second one is what people actually see you as, and the third one is what.
That.
And the third one is actually what you are. So that's how it comes over. So that's how it can come off. So that's why we do it, you know, just a little something to keep it going.
No problem.
Okay. If you could live in a bubble with no prejudice or problems, would you do so?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Love it. Next question. What are you responsible for?
I'm responsible for myself, my family, my bills, of course, and that's it. And for my upkeep.
Okay. Love it. Next question we have. Who were and who are your role models?
Number one was my mother and my dad. My older sister, Winnie, she was definitely a role model. I learned so much from her. Excuse me.
No, you're fine. Thank you. You know, it's once again, for any breaks, I usually say it. I usually at the beginning, you know, sometimes get a little emotional here with the making of you because I've been there, you know, but it's all love and this is you. So you mentioned your mother, your father, and your elder sister, and I was talking about our previous episode, the beginning of this. How many years apart was your brother and
my sister, older sister,
elder sister?
4 years.
They were 4 years apart. Wow.
Okay. They were 4 years apart.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, someone asked me that question. I'm like, I need to get that definite answer.
Yeah, Winnie and Beryl was 4 years apart.
Wow.
And Beryl was 8 years from Gwen and I.
Wow. Oof. Yeah. Okay. I'm seeing the picture now. It's all been painted for me. Okay.
Yes.
If you could start over in life, would you?
Of course. Because I made some mistakes along the way that if I had to do it again, those mistakes would be corrected.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I'd make the same one.
All right. And once again, this is something that you share. Is there a particular age, like you would go back to this age, or you would just go back to the very beginning, the whole rodeo?
What age would I go back to? 9.
9. Okay.
9 years old.
9 years old.
That was my favorite number.
Really? Okay.
Really.
Learn something new again. Love this. I love this. How do you relax?
I relax by listening to music, watching movies. I like
them Lifetime movies. Gotcha.
Not particular Lifetime, but I like planting plants. As a matter of fact, I have a she shed.
You do?
And I've been just really enjoying being out there and planting my flowers around it and seeing how I can make it better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just love. I really have been relaxed doing that. It's been good for me.
Yeah. So, well, on one of our previous episodes with the Simmons sisters, we talk about your relationship with your yard, and
Yeah.
and several times we shouted out Tony Turrell. So
Yes, yes, he knows
yeah,
about that.
yes. Okay, we love it. All right. Next question. When in your life did you realize you were different?
Well, in my life, I realized I was different. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I still realize that I'm different to the day.
You
I
say,
mean, I think I'm just normal, no different than any other person in my family because we all pretty much alike
mm-hmm,
as far as attitudes, uh, personalities. Really, I think my family all have pretty much the same personality. Maybe some is more aggressive than others,
mm-hmm.
but if you just check the bloodline going down, we're all pretty much alike.
Oh, I was saying yet last night, it was like it's the listening to your episode and well, not even listening, just recording. Having this
Yeah,
opportunity to sit down and speak with you in this intimate time, and like I'm seeing the cycle of life. How like man,
yeah,
this has happened before, and I just find it so
yeah.
unique, and I love it. Um, okay, we jumped on next question. Who are three people in your life that you know that trust you?
I got four people in my life that I
Name,
know that.
go ahead, name them all if you want to.
Okay, uh, my daughter Tanya,
Hmm.
Shanae,
Hmm.
Angela, and Brandon.
Okay, you here right there. All right.
Right. I know my kids trust me. They know I won't lead them astray.
I tell you, you got
They
more
know what
people
I.
than us as well. Trust me.
Well, yeah, I got more than y'all, but you didn't tell me I can name everybody.
Well,
Do you have time?
at least three. You can name a whole lot of folks, and we gonna talk about that on another episode.
Yeah, yeah, I
You
can
know,
name them, but I know my children trust me.
because I want to talk about later on our next episode when we come back and really talk about the topics. I really want to touch on about community. And on our previous episode, I don't know if you had a chance to listen, but we really spoke about how I really emphasize North Confederate and how, as a man, people will take it for granted what type of community that is. But we will get back to that later. We will get back to that later.
Yeah.
We really
Okay.
are. What is a quote that you live by?
A quote that I know.
Mhm.
Trying to think, I have several quotes, Brandon.
I, I
Um,
I know. I remember being around the house, and I used to see. I used to sit down and just read and try to understand what these quotes around the house meant. From the
yeah.
restrooms all the way to the back room, you name it. It was
Yeah.
just little subtle things that were around.
Yeah. Ooh, I always say just pray. You
Mm.
know, uh, that has gotten me through so much. I mean, you might not call it a quote, but I
No,
do.
it's a quote.
It's
It's a quote.
just pray. I have prayed my way up out of so many situations, and God always answers prayers. It might not come when I want it, but it's always on time, and that's the main quote.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Um, it's amazing that um, your daughter-in-law and myself was just praying together, and we was talking about just preparing ourselves for the answers of the prayers. And don't
yes,
and when he answers your question, don't take it for granted. Just continue for you to, that's what I pray. Everything culture continue to
you
continue
right.
to bless me for whatever's gonna come with it. You already blessed me with the opportunity to do this, and when I get to that the prayer that I'm asking for, continue to bless me for it further, because make sure I'm prepared for it. So,
and when you're praying for it, you pray that it's coming. It's gonna come your way. You just gonna be praying to be praying. You just know God is gonna bless you in that prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
One way or the other.
Okay. We ain't got to be more
I guess
questions.
you know I was, by the way I talk, I was raised coaching.
Man, once again, I was telling Afton, Mrs. D713. I like, man, I did not know Grandma and Grandpa was, had two different churches. And I'm like, but in like growing up, like, okay, it made sense though. It made sense. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my favorite question.
Well, my daddy supported my mother's church in a big way.
Yes.
I'm sure growing up you remember that.
Yes. Oh, I know. And like
I mean, he was always there in every event that church had. Because they had a really small membership, like maybe they had 12 or 15. It wasn't too many members over that. But that's not counting the children.
Correct.
It's excluding the children.
And once again, it ain't about the makings of me right now. But I like that's something that made me who I am as well. And when I look for a church or a place of worship. We got about 3 more questions. All right.
That's fine.
The next one is my favorite question. And that is, what if you had your big shebang, your best meal? If anybody could prepare this meal for you, and whatever you want it to be, what would be the meal and who would make it for you, no matter who it could be?
Oh, wow. The person that would make my meal is already gone.
Hey, you can bring anybody back.
It would be my mama. My mother could cook anything. She was the best cook to me. And I enjoyed learning from her, learning how to cook from her. Her cornbread dressing, her ham, her salads, and she would make multiple salads.
Okay.
And my dad would get on the barbecue pit and he would barbecue. So, and everybody would come to our home growing up, when we were growing up for different holidays, because they know they were going to be a feast. Because her mom and dad they cooked up everything that got in the way. And it was fit to eat.
Okay. What is your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Christmas.
Okay. Has there been a
excuse me?
No, go ahead.
No, we're all, except for this year, we've always gathered at my nephew Rodney, who is the eldest of the nephews, or the grandchildren of Estella and J.D. Johnson.
Of my first cousins, he's the eldest, yes.
Yes, he picked up from his mom. His mom did that. My sister Winnie, she would every year at Christmas Eve, she would host the Christmas dinner at her house. And everybody would bring we usually drew names, and because the family was so big, at Thanksgiving time, and we'd bring the gifts that we for the person that we had pulled the name for. And we would just have so much fun there, eating, food galore. We didn't run out of anything. And the kids would just look forward to it. The kids would, matter of fact, start in August, getting ready for the big deal at Uncle Rod or Aunt Winnie's.
And say that. Do you have a favorite year, a favorite Christmas that you can think of, like that's memorable?
Memorable Christmas? No, I don't, Brendan, because all of my Christmases have been memorable.
All right. I love it.
All of our Christmases have been just great from childhood up.
Wow.
My parents made sure we had dolls and plenty other Christmas. And my dad would act like he was Santa Claus, and he'd trick us. They'd hide our toys, but The worst disappointment was when we found out Christmas one year, and we couldn't let them know. Oh Lord, it was awful. We
Now,
hated we found it.
I gotta ask this question
Gwen,
here.
not twin Gwen, would always the one that finds stuff and say, "Y'all come here, let me show y'all."
So she the one used to sneak through everything. She was the
Oh
one.
yeah, she was the one. She was the one.
Okay, I'll go ahead.
She messed our Christmas up.
It'd be all right.
We were excited, but we had to act like we didn't. That was our first time seeing it.
Okay, I got a question now. I got a question. Okay. This is coming. This is something y'all got me out in these streets looking crazy because I've been thinking this is like half my life. Who came up with the idea or to tell the kids that Santa Claus will put salt and pepper in your eyes if you saw him? Where did that come from?
I never heard that one, Brandon.
You never? Oh my God!
To be very honest, I've never heard Santa Claus would sprinkle salt and pepper in your eyes.
Oh, okay. I gotta ask around more for that one because
you gotta hit somebody else up on that one.
I don't know. That may came from my daddy's side. No, because Avery knew about it too.
You probably told him.
Nah, when I tell you, I used to keep my eyes so. I remember being in Unweenie house. I remember being at Unweenie house, and somebody was, we used to be in the back playing. The night before, the kids sleep, y'all trying to set up the gifts and everything. Yeah. And I remember somebody was trying to stomp around, talking about ho ho ho. Man, I'm talking about, how you would try to. I used to tell people I used to be scared of Santa Claus. I was like,
oh my gosh.
But let's get back to it. We got two more questions. And our the first of the last two is, how would you want to be remembered?
How would I want to be remembered? Yes, a loving, caring person, a giving, because that is my biggest problem there, is the giving. Even my mom, I don't have nobody to go to. If I ever need anything and ask my mom, she said, well, let me check with my dad. Let me check with, your dad. And then I'll get back to you and let you know. Well, when my kids come to me and ask me for something, I don't even think. And I should. I just do.
Yeah.
I've always been, I didn't never want them to want for anything. And that's not a good thing. They need to be on their own. and look for something.
That's this is a Sunday when we're recording. We do our live Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. That's the conversation for tonight. How do you parent an adult? That is the conversation. That's so unique because
how you parent an adult.
it's really
it's hard for me to say no to them. I understand. They have to really have messed up with me for me to say no. If I say no, they can cut it out. They know it's no use in asking anymore. Because that's it.
Understand. Okay. And the last question we have here, and once again, thank you so much for coming on, taking your time and sharing your life, your experiences, your stories with us. It really means a lot. Hopefully to all our listeners and our viewers, but especially means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to our family as well. The last question: what if you can call 3 people to speak with? Who would those 3 people be? Just to have a conversation with.
If they did or not.
That is like, yes. That is I want to get, because we want to go who you value. You gave us.
Yeah. Number one, if I could call, it would be my sister Winnie. My oldest sister Winnie, my twin sister Gwen, because I love them so much. And my brother Burl, I love them. My brother would just make my day. He quit, Brandon. He would tell me anything. And I don't care how goofy it was. He'd make my day. I don't care how down I was. He would lift you up. because he had no filter
at all.
I mean,
I was
he was
saying,
just loving the people that I would just call up right now. I can't call them up right now. You know what I mean? But you want to
absolutely.
know who I could call up right
And once again, I appreciate you for sharing.
now.
Thank you,
So
thank you. Trust me, I would like to
I,
be on the
I would
line with them
call
as well.
I would call Brandon. I know it. I would call Brandon, Shanae, and Angela because they make my day as well.
Love it, love it. Thank you, auntie.
Yes.
And that last question is, what changes you would like to make to your culture or to your people?
Oh, I would like everybody to be more loving
Mm,
and more kind to one another and cut out all of this animosity toward one another and let there be peace
mm,
because it is hard cutting on TVs and see all of these killings in schools and policemen mistreat. They are to protect and serve. They are not supposed to make the news, and they are making the news. And one episode that happened the other day, and I'm still in shock that the policeman
mm-hmm.
that took the lives of the young man down there with his kneeling on his knee, George Floyd, they came back 3 for 3, and I'm still in shock because I had prayed all day. Lord, don't let it be a hung jury.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let there be any distinct between any. Just let them all be on as one on this. And they came. Then they got together and they came back as one. Now we gotta listen to the judge.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope and pray that the judge handle it right.
Like you said, your quote, just pray. That's what you got to do. Man, ooh. And there y'all have it. We can have a whole conversation with that right there. And once again, I'm gonna thank Mom Brenda. Y'all will hear her back soon with the good work that she's doing, and here with some other family members as well, and maybe some other topics because I may bring on some other members of J. Scott that I'm thinking about, and we're gonna talk about the great J. Scott High School in Tyler, Texas.
Yes,
Because
it was
that's
great.
that
It
was a
was
culture right
great.
there. That
Yeah,
was
and
a
my
culture.
parents saw that we were part of it.
Yeah, and we don't see that much. We don't have that on the high school level so much any longer. So
No.
I would love to have that conversation. But man, but what she said right there is something that in her life that Auntie's been living, that she's seeing changes. And I want to, some things I compared the George Floyd, the trial of Derek Chauvin, the guilty verdicts for him. I haven't had a
Right.
feeling like that since Obama won.
Right.
Something that I didn't
Right.
expect to happen. I've never seen that happen before,
Mm,
and it was historical. That's
no,
basically for
it was
for our
historical.
culture, for our
I
culture.
agree.
And unfortunately, we don't want to like with it wasn't Al. Was it Al? Yeah, it was Al Sharpton that
Al
said
Sharpton, yes.
that. He said we never want to see somebody. We would rather have George here living with us, but
Right.
this is a win that we have to go with, that justice is finally being served. So I would like to, we're going to end it right there, but want to say thank you all. We appreciate y'all for listening. Make sure to check us out on our other episodes and everything on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, as well as Audible through Amazon. If you like to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Anywhere else, you just type in everything culture, and that's a thing with an A. We'll love to have you interact with us and meet up with us on Sunday. We go live every Sunday at 7:45 on 7:30 on Zoom. Join us. Find the links and stuff are not hard to find, but we do appreciate you all listening and want to thank you all, and God bless. Peace.
Yes.